Okay, we're just here to look at how to differentiate from first principles, and it's relevant only to Leaving Cert higher level. So ultimately, when you're asked to differentiate from first principles, you're asked to find the limit as h goes to 0 of this expression, which is f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Now the origins of that are something that we can discuss at a different time, but right now we'll take that that you understand where this has come from. And again, this is the instantaneous rate of change of the function f of x, and it can also be known as dy dx, as f prime x, and as the slope function. Okay, and I said that's something we can cover at a different time. So we just want to leave this over here as a reference, because basically we're going to build this up from scratch, and that is what differentiation from first principles is. So in most cases, or well, in all cases, you're going to be given a function to differentiate. So we're going to start off with this one. It's a linear function 3x minus 2. So your first step, and it's just a procedure that you have to practice. Your first step basically is to rewrite the function with x plus h in place of x. So anywhere you find an x in your equation, you're going to take that out and replace it with x plus h. And this one is straightforward enough. You end up with 3x plus 3h minus 2. Okay. Now if you reference across here, the next step here is we're just going to try and complete this top line. So you're going to take f of x from f of x plus h. So f of x plus h minus f of x is 3x plus 3h minus 2. And remember, we're taking away f of x. That means taking away each of the terms. So we subtract 3x and we subtract minus 2. But if you subtract minus 2, that means that becomes plus 2, because minus 2 changes to plus 2. So I prefer writing it out in this format, because it's quite easy to see. Then if you put them underneath each other, you end up with a fairly straightforward situation there. So we can just summarize that then by saying f of x plus h minus f of x equals 3h. Okay, so if you can reference again over the left hand side, we've completed this top part of this now. Next step is we're going to divide by h. So again, you write this out. It's a procedure. Okay, and each of these labels on the left hand side are vitally important in terms of getting your marks. Okay, so we figured out the top part is 3h, and the h comes in there then on the bottom to reflect the left hand side, and we know that 3h divided by h will give us 3. And the last part of our thing we need to work out is the limit. We need to introduce the limit then at the very end. So the limit as h goes to 0. Let's just see now. The limit as h goes to 0 of this expression. So anywhere you have a h in your answer here, you're going to just replace it with 0. Because we don't have a h here, you just end up with the same answer. Okay, that's not always going to be the case. In this case it is. So this is your final answer. When you're asked to differentiate 3x minus 2 from first principles, your answer is 3. More important than the answer, just to remember, is the procedure, because there's a lot quicker ways, shortcuts to getting this answer than doing this. But it's just to show that you understand the procedure of how to differentiate from first principles, not leaving out any of these steps. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps that you must have if you want to differentiate from first principles correctly.